Hi, welcome to our webinar on global digital transformation. My name is Ed Marx. I serve as the Chief Digital Officer for Tech Mahindra Health and Life Sciences and part of with the HCI group. And I'm really excited today to introduce to you my ultimate leader in Tech Mahindra, and that's CP Gurnani. And so we have an amazing 30 minutes ahead to share with you some great insights on digital transformation around the globe, across industries. Very exciting. Two things as we get going. One is we are live, and we do live for a couple of reasons. One is it just makes it more interesting when we're live. There's no stagecraft taking place. This is just two people speaking to you from their heart. And the second is we want to engage with you. So while we've already had a couple questions from you in advance from the audience, and we do have a couple of questions already seated, we want to hear from you. So I think everyone at this point knows how to use the technology for GoToWebinar. Please enter in your questions and we'll get to as many as we can. So this is an amazing opportunity for you to engage directly with the CEO of one of the most progressive, transformative companies in the world. And so please, we would love to have your interaction. So with all that, I want to introduce you to CP Gurnani. I'll just say one thing and then let him introduce himself. The most humble leader I've met. So you always wonder, when you speak to CEOs of multi-billion-dollar global digital transformation type companies, what they're really like. And CP is just the most down-to-earth, humble leader I've met. And every time I speak or listen to him speak with him or listen to him speak, I learn so much. So CP, thank you for being with us. We're displaying some of your background, but please, would you take a little bit of time to introduce yourself, both on a personal level and professional level?
Hey, thank you, Ed, and thank you. And good evening, good morning to the audience. It will take me a few hours to talk about my full journey. When I look back, a small town guy ended up becoming a chemical engineering graduate from one of the better known institutes in India called NIT Rourkela. And I can only say that my career through very few companies, worked well for me. Because I was lucky. I ended up running global businesses when I was about 35 years old. Number two, I was lucky that the organizations that I serve continued to grow. And number third, I consider myself lucky is that I get a chance to build an organization. I have two stints in which I consider myself very blessed, and I do count my blessings every day. Number one was when I started from zero and built the company for Pero Systems in India with a joint venture partner. And I grew that company, and that company got sold it was acquired by one of the partners. But the point was, it was really in money and a very, very hugely successful, profitable company. The second company I got into again as an entrepreneur, where I took a minority stake and grew it from 5,000 people to 125,000 people, 90 countries. And I get to work with, some of the brightest minds in the world, as young as Ed Marx and as old as my daughter, who graduated from Harvard Business School.
No, that is an amazing journey and all those experiences, and thank you for sharing that. One more question along those lines, and then we'll move into digital transformation. What brings you the most joy as a managing director of this large, expansive, progressive organization? What brings you the greatest joy as a leader?
As a CEO and a managing director, I think a chance of learning every day, that any script that whoever gave me had to be revised every morning is probably the biggest reason why I come to work every day. And why do I say this? A typical script of any CEO is, build an organization, build a strategy, set a goal, find the right resources, and find a way of measuring output and reward your shareholders, reward your employees, reward your community, and engage with the community. Now, that's a typical script that any organization would write. And then they will say, are you using the right technology? Are you using the right processes? Uh, I think I enjoy all of that. But the fabric of the organization is what I call the culture of the organization. The fabric of the organization is the people. The fabric of the business is how your customer perceives you. So, my biggest joy is learning to keep my customers, my people, and the culture of the organization aligned so that we can serve the shareholders, so that we can serve our all customers, all stakeholders. So maybe as I keep reminding myself every morning, have I had fun? Do I enjoy what I do? And number three, do I count my blessings every day? And you bet I am having fun. And I promise you, the day I stop having fun, I'll go to Ed Marx's village in Himachal Pradesh, India.
No, that's awesome. No, that's very insightful. Because oftentimes we all wonder, what would it be like, as a CEO, managing director, and what are the thoughts? And so that's very helpful and very insightful. So let's move now to digital transformation. And one of the great things about Tech Mahindra and your role is you get to see things from a global perspective, like you mentioned, over 90 countries where we have worked in, and multiple industries. What are some of the common themes you're seeing across industries when it comes to digital transformation? Obviously, it's a big buzzword today, but certainly we see it from multiple industries. So are there any commonalities across all these different industries?
A very interesting subject, and to a large extent, the journey is only begun. And why I consider digital transformation journey as only begun is, look at the possibilities. The possibilities is again to say thank you. And this is, you just had your Thanksgiving last week. Do you think we would have had a vaccine ready to be launched in the next 2 weeks if we did not have AI engines running, machine learning running, data and analytics synthesized every second at a faster pace? This will be the first time in the history of the world that the world will see a vaccine in less than 11 months. I do believe that that is the power of technology. Now, how do you apply it to day-to-day work? How do you apply it to supply chain? Because the vaccine in a lab, but a vaccine produced under a quality control in various manufacturing sites around the world, transported properly, distributed properly, feedback taken properly, and adverse reactions, both public as well as medical, managed properly. I think there's a different science behind it. And that science, whether you call it technology or logistics or supply chain, but it will not work unless there is connectivity. Because you are now saying I have to micromanage at every second. I have to know what is happening to every batch. I need to know not only to every batch, but to the every piece of a vaccine. Now, whether you use RFID or whether you use IoT or whether you end up using quant computing, you would need to train thousands of people on standardized processes and controls. And whether you end up using AR, VR, the reality is the common fabric is connectivity. Common fabric is what I call telecom. Common fabric is all the data that flows through that connectivity, and the way you manage it is what people have called Industry 4.0. And I strongly believe the world of tomorrow is all about 5G and Industry 4.0. And to me, the underlying technologies are only here to help us.
Yeah, no, that's right, and very insightful. And I agree, we're sort of in that 4.0, and yeah, there's no way we would have been able to manage what we're seeing with the vaccine without the technology. And that's a really great example of digital transformation across the globe. Do you think, CP, that there's one or two industries that might be more advanced than others that have taken a hold of digital transformation? You know, maybe they're early adopters that we could look to, you know, specifically from healthcare point of view. You know, we always look outside of healthcare to see what other industries are leading so we can learn from them.
Ed, I would like you to take a step back and first say which industry adopted technology. The reality is that health care has always been an early adopter of various devices. It doesn't matter whether you call it an X-ray machine or whether you call it a CT scan or whether you call it your lab tests, your lab works. At every stage, you were using an equipment which was a product of technology which helped you become better at diagnostics, keeping records, working with various agencies around the world, and being able to also face the regulators. So if you take that as a genesis from where we were and where we have come. Now, from where we were, I already discussed Moderna with you, already discussed Pfizer with you, but I would like to take a step forward. I would like to say is that a patient is equal to a customer, I think is a new realization. That a radiographer could be remote and he could be reading a CT scan sitting wherever you can find a good, well-equipped doctor. That for some of the most valued companies in the world were built around what is called a second opinion. And all of that has happened because the technology is now a tool for the doctors. Technology is a tool for the payers. Technology is a tool for an hospital administration. And most importantly is technology gives the power to the patient. I think that's an ultimate, as far as I'm concerned, that a patient can decide and if they can do a comparison if they have an issue, which hospital, which doctor to go to. So I think in a lot of ways, healthcare has been an early adopter, but a lot more needs to be done in healthcare. And when I say a lot more, I really mean it. Because to me, Amazon, now they are personalizing their service to you. A Walmart today knows you. And number three, that they are able to analyze the cost of the product. Why is it that a drug in US costs $10 across the border in Mexico $1, and when it comes to India it costs you 25 cents? I mean, most of us know that the molecules are the same. Most of us know that the supply chain is distributed and it is global. So I think there is a lot more to be done. And if you were looking for a word on what should change in healthcare, I think it is health next. That means I, as a patient, should be able to engage remotely with everybody in the ecosystem: doctor, nurse, paramedic, X-ray technician, or my insurance company or the supplier. And I should be able to engage like you and I are talking right now. And number two, I think we need to Amazonify the healthcare also. And that's where really Tech Mahindra and HCI are now working with a few hospitals to actually bring in the whole ecosystem for the patient on a digital platform. Hopefully, as we grow, we're starting with remote healthcare, we're starting with remote consulting, but we should be able to bring together a prescription, diagnostics, to the medicines, to reports, to your monitoring on a daily basis. If you are a diabetic, I mean, why can't my machine be able to, my device be able to manage me? And it is right there. Today, my healthcare device, my wearable, does measure my ECG, it measures my pulse, it measures my heart rate. I don't need an oxygen meter. Now, but it is not connected. And with Tech Mahindra or HCI Health Next, I do believe we will be connected, and we will be connected 24/7.
Yeah, no, that's a good example and a good reminder. Yeah, healthcare has come a long way. Sometimes I'm our worst critic because, I'm always like, oh, we can do more. We can help save more lives and the quality care. But yeah, when you look at it from a historical perspective, healthcare has, especially when you look at sort of the lab equipment, the radiology equipment, all the devices, we've come a long way. And as you say, really the next phase is to be very customer centric or patient centric, which is sort of the new phase, I think, for healthcare. And yeah, I would agree as well that it really is all about the virtual care, the capabilities going forward in the future. So we are down. This is for our audience. Thank you for joining us. We are down to about 10 minutes. The time goes by so fast. Sometimes I wish it was longer, but I know everyone has very, very busy days and evenings. So we do take audience questions, and we do have one, and I will turn to that here in a second. So it really is about digital transformation, CP, and we're doing more with working from home and digital transformation. Do we see an increase in global competition for jobs as a result, right? Because it used to be you had to stay in your local geography, but now with certainly the pandemic certainly accelerated this whole move to work from home, things like that. So does it make it more of a global competition now for talent?
People have always moved. That early gold diggers going to California, the shovel guy making money. I mean, these are oft repeated stories. That a farmer would go to a fertile land, and the river used to be the reason why cities got developed around water or river. So I do believe that wherever there is a need, the talent will now flow.
Yeah.
But yes, you are dead right, Ed. In today's environment, a talent has to start visualizing your connectivity and broadband as the new river, as the new waterfront. So when you build a community, you are now building a community which is a lot different. It's a smart, connected world. It's a smart per individual, and it is the smart way of working. So yes, I live in India. I used to spend about 100 nights a year traveling across the world, but it's now been 9 months, 10 months since I sat on an aircraft. But I promise you that I am more connected than ever.
Hmm.
I am more productive than ever. I'm more efficient than ever. And it is only thanks to us in a world realizing that the value can be created by a global diverse workforce. I have to hire a cybersecurity expert. I might as well go to the prison and hire a cybersecurity expert and use that guy's tribal knowledge to help me instead of trying to worry that this guy is in the prison. And I'm not being dramatic here, because for ethical hacking, I would rather go to a thief than to actually find a clean hacker. But if I have to protect you, I need to sometimes inject a virus.
Right.
And that is what I really mean, that a global workforce, global delivery centers, and global mindset is the fastest way to do any digital transformation, because a digital transformation can only happen when you have a business transformation and a people transformation. And for people transformation, you need to go and get the best talent possible. Sorry,
Yeah.
Ed, I didn't want to preach, but it's just that I think I got provoked a bit.
No, it's great. And I love the analogy with the river in the past. You could use locomotive, you can use a lot of different analogies, but really the broadband is that new sort of source. And it really does enable this global economy and mobility and things like that. We have a ton of questions coming in. So I'm going to, I know we're both very flexible, CP, and we want to make sure we satisfy our audience. So we are completely off script, which is great. That's what we prefer. And I'll take a couple more questions. We're down to about 5 minutes, so I don't know how much time we'll have for all the questions, but we have a couple coming in. One of them is from a CIO who's done a lot of work with Tech Mahindra. They're very, very complimentary of the great services that they've received. And they're asking about healthcare in other parts of the world, not necessarily North America, where we're a little bit more mature, but what are we doing, or what might be the potential of Tech Mahindra working in less developed countries, whether that might be in other parts of Asia or Africa? How can we bring the capabilities of Tech Mahindra to bear? And CP, that's a big question. And if there's any way to sprinkle it with some of the amazing things that we did in India as part of the pandemic, whether it's events or other things, that might be related as well. And I know we're short on time, but whatever you can share in those areas and your thoughts there.
So COVID-19 is a social tragedy, but at the same time, it accelerated three businesses. One is education, retail, and healthcare. Tech Mahindra, one is took the DNA matching of the various molecules of the various traditional medicine and has actually come out with, I would not say a cure, but a preventive herbs immunity package. That's number one. Number two, we started doing what is called immunity passport in India, where we start doing testing of an individual. We take a blood sample. Everything is dry diagnostics. We call it M healthy, but really I wanted to keep my employees safe. So if they were coming into work, I mean, at least I needed to check whether they had the right antibodies, whether they were infected or not. And it looked at other variable parameters, whether they were more vulnerable or not. Now that has worked very well. Now what has happened is that essential service workers, I mean, this has become a business stream by itself in India. The only reason I have not launched it in North America or many other parts of the world is it's a data protection laws. Because no matter what, if I have to do a diagnostics on you, I end up collecting some data from you. I mean, your age, your date, your ethnicity, your diversity, your race, everything. Now, I don't want to get into trouble. And that is the only reason, despite of the fact that large energy company called Next Energy invited us because they read about it, and he said, no, we don't know what the law is. So, but I can only say is that uh, similarly, remote healthcare, I think has come of age. Remote diagnostics has come of age. And the distribution of medicine has come of age in India. And we are seeing a demand for that from many other parts of the world.
That's a good example, and yeah, we do. Just for the person who asked that question, we don't really leverage this time. We don't want to be seen as a commercial or anything, but certainly we do work in around the globe, as we mentioned, 90 countries. If you are interested, you can certainly go to our website, the hcigroup.com. That's sort of the health life sciences arm today, and you can definitely interact with us, and we can share with you all the amazing things that we're doing, especially what CP is talking about in virtual health. There's an enterprise platform that brings everything virtual care together on one. That's a lot of what CP is alluding to. It's pretty amazing. I came from, as many of you know, from the Cleveland Clinic, and this would have been utopia for us to have a platform like this that is global and scalable. So you can find out more information there. We are down to perhaps a final question, and I would turn it back to leadership. That's my favorite topic. So whether it's healthcare or oil and gas or finance, really everything rises and falls on leadership. So CP, I'm wondering what are the one or two things that you would share with, like you mentioned, your daughter or others, other leaders or emerging leaders? What are one or two things that you would share about leadership that have really helped guide you and shape who you are today as a leader of Tech Mahindra? So one or two pearls of wisdom, as I call it.
I don't know whether it is only about me. I think it is common to everybody on this room. We are in this room because we take the initiative. Uh, we are in this room because we like to make an impact, because an initiative without an impact has got no meaning. And number third is, it's our job to lead. That means it's our job to inspire people to do something more meaningful when they come to work, when they, you know, they are role models. So I consider three main characteristics of a leader: inspire, initiative, and impact. And again, I know I have been repetitive, but in my life, I always also take a moment to thank my friends, thank my children, my wife, and almost everybody who has helped me, who become who I am. And again, guys, thank you for this wonderful 30 minutes also, because Ed asked the questions on your behalf, but it forced me to think, and maybe you will see some of it becoming different when I come to work tomorrow. It's Friday evening in India. That's why I'm saying tomorrow.
No, CP, thank you so much. And I love that. Inspire, initiative, and impact. Those are three pearls of wisdom that we can all use to help in our own leadership and the things that we do. It really is about meaning. And again, I think the audience realized, if they didn't already, just the humility of CP as a leader. I think it's a key leadership trait. You don't often find it. And it's amazing to work in an organization like this. All of our guests in the past haven't been within our family, so I feel a little bit of freedom to not be afraid to just share how wonderful it is to work at Tech Mahindra. It's an amazing organization. It starts at the top. The culture then comes from that, and so it's a great organization. And if you've not worked with us before, certainly reach out to us. We're happy to serve with you across all these industries across the globe. So amazing. Thank you so much, CP, for joining us today. Appreciate it. And
stay safe, stay healthy, and all the folks on the webinar. I wish we were more interactive, but next time, sir. And
Yeah.
happy holidays, happy New Year.
And to you as well. And so yeah, we're wrapping up the year. We did almost 30 webinars this year. We did 6 on race relations in healthcare specifically and technology. We did 10 on digital transformation. We did almost 10 on virtual care. It's been amazing guests, and it was great to end with CP and his inspirational insights. And so look for more webinars next year. We already have them coming and lined up. And also podcasts, and they're different. Just like our webinars are different, we don't want to do the same type of podcast that others are doing because they're doing a great job with them. Ours will be totally different, something totally new. So look forward to that. And again, thank you for being our audience. Thank you, CP, and thank you for my team who helps put these together. It's awesome. All right, have a great evening or morning. See you.